It's a pretty good wine.
No, it's not. I swear, if anyone ever drinks wine through a straw, I will manifest in your house and kill you.
Manifest destiny.
Ugh. Did you have to do the play in like 5th grade about the
What?
No, you guys didn't have to do that. I had to do like a play in 5th grade about or 6th. I think it was 5th grade.
About what?
About
colonialism?
No, about the
Imperialism?
yes, going west, the whole westward movement of America.
Jalen, you're from Hawaii. That's not part of the United States. Did you have to do that?
Hawaii shouldn't be part of the United States.
Yeah, Hawaii really shouldn't be part of the United States.
They really don't want to, right? The government?
They super didn't want to. I don't know if they do now.
They still don't want to.
Okay, I figured.
Hawaii has technically been illegally occupied. There's actually no legal documentation.
Yeah, we kind of just came in, said, "Hey, Queen, get out of here," and then we made her get out of there.
Yeah. There's actually no legal documentation that the U.S. is allowed to be in Hawaii.
Yeah,
the Kingdom of Hawaii never technically
a
disbanded as a country. So
Wait, so
Hawaii,
it's, yeah.
It's technically a state, but it's not?
After America occupied Hawaii, the Queen was like, "Please, can you not do that?" And they were like, "We'll let you stay, but you really don't have any power at all."
So she just
Yeah.
left?
Yeah.
Well, they put the Queen under house arrest.
Wait, what?
Yeah, yeah. They were like, you can stay in Hawaii, but you can't do anything at all, even though you're the Queen and this was your country before we got here.
Was she a pigeon?
Isn't a pigeon a language?
Because she was a pigeon.
Yes.
That's what that comes
That's
from.
That's why they call it that.
That's why they call it pigeon.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Noah.
Jordan, what do you hate?
I hate it when you're trying to make an argument.
We have an order.
You're trying to make an argument and someone interrupts you as a rebuttal or as a counter argument, and then that counts as their point. I just hate it when people do that when you're trying to argue something in a respectful way. It really just makes me not want to talk to that person ever again.
Dang it.
Hey, Jalen, what do you hate, buddy?
Oh, God. I'll go with the safe answer. I hate Aquaman. To my core, I hate it. It's the worst movie. Well,
the movie, not just the character.
Yeah, no,
like
the
you
movie.
Just hate the movie.
The movie.
Do you like Jason Momoa as?
Oh, I am a simp for Jason Momoa.
But Aquaman was bad to you.
Well, it's a personal offense in the same way that Avatar: The Last Airbender, by M. Night Shyamalan, is a personal.
What a terrible! That's the worst movie ever. Okay, hold on. Everybody stop.
You can't just do that
everybody stop for a second.
Noah, what do you hate?
I hate when I repeat myself for things I hate, because last week I finally did that. I said something I had said before.
Dang.
That's the first time.
First time that ever happened, and I didn't know that because
the 21st episode.
Well, it wouldn't have been the first time if you didn't acknowledge it.
That's true.
No, nobody would have known, but I know, and that burns my soul.
So you have integrity.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Dang it.
Can you
Okay,
just,
hold on, guys. Everybody stop for a second.
Okay, let's just you know what? We're gonna light 3 candles.
Okay,
wow.
we're fine.
The Holy Trinity.
Happy holiday. We have summer, fall, and Christmas, and winter. Do we have?
Oh man,
something
we
for
love
spring?
representation.
Yeah.
Do we have something for spring?
What?
Do we have something for spring? Because we have summer, fall, and winter.
We're in spring right now.
Yeah.
So,
Nope.
So
this is the middle of spring.
Yeah, middle of spring.
Isn't it just
today is
blazing?
let's
Today is actually very nice.
appreciate
like
all
75.
seasons day.
But what about spring?
Spring.
Hold on, everybody, hold on.
Noah, we've been over it.
Hold on, guys, it went out. Okay, we can start again. Hold on. Okay.
So it's spring.
It's not. It's actually fall. Happy fall.
No.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Why do you wait? What? You disagree with the fact that it's fall?
Yeah, it's not fall. It's spring.
What's your counter argument, Noah?
Oh, my counter argument is that it's fall.
My counter argument is
this argument's making me a little.
What are we drinking today, Noah?
Hold on. All I have to say is respect the pouch. Respect it.
Respect it. Welcome to the We Hate Things podcast, episode 22, with my friend Jalen. Jalen, tell him what's your name.
My name's Jalen, like he said.
Welcome to chaos.
Where are you from?
I'm from Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it. That's all the valuable information that he has.
That's pretty much it. So now, on to more important things.
I have no credibility.
None. Today we're recording on Friday the 9th, and it's about 2:45 in the afternoon. Yes, if you're watching this right away, that is the same day that you're watching it, because this will probably go up at some point tonight, but because of... It's a phone silent now.
That's the first time it's ever happened.
Now,
It's the 9th of spring.
due to scheduling errors and whatnot, we're recording on this Friday, and we're late. It's going to be late. It's October 9th.
Yeah.
The first day of spring.
That's
It's
why we're
the 9th of spring.
Oh, dang it, guys. Two of them went out.
Spring is my favorite month.
Spring is my favorite month of all time, so... Yeah.
There's actually only 4 months
Okay.
in the year.
Winter, spring, summer,
No,
and November.
spring, October, winter,
And spring too.
and spring 2, the movie.
Yeah, the movie. Okay.
To
I-
spring.
Too fast to...
To spring.
To
spring.
spring.
To spring. Alright, so news really quick.
Guys, if you sip like this, you can get it through your straw.
Dude, you can.
Yeah.
He's already done.
Alcoholic. That was unrelated. I'm just calling you an alcoholic.
Yeah, I understand.
This is a Capri Sun, by the way.
This is...
Fruit punch.
Yes. Dang it, mine spilled a little
Actually, it's water.
It's actually...
I
bit.
think.
It's just really bad
really
water.
dirty water.
It's my
still
favorite
love it, guys.
springtime
Yeah,
drink.
Jalen brought this from Hawaii. This is what they drink there.
This
Yeah,
is-
actually, this is ocean water directly.
This is
from
actually
the
cleaner
island.
than Hawaii's water, so...
Cleaner than Hawaii's water. This
I
is
don't
actually
even-
filtered
I don't
Hawaii
even know
water.
how I got it. I've never seen the ocean.
That's true.
You live in... Never mind. Never mind.
No, yeah, I've
It's a tragedy.
He's
I've never seen the ocean.
That's kind of...
his mom
crazy.
tells him that from their house you can see the ocean, but he's just never seen it.
I've actually we've been over this. I actually went on Google Maps before quarantine happened. I was with Jordan. We're on Google Maps.
Yeah.
And I went to my house and I was like, "Oh my god, that's the ocean!" I finally saw it, like on Google Maps, right? And so
Because-
I was excited to go home,
But-
so I could go look at it. And then I went home,
And you
I
didn't-
just
you
couldn't
didn't-
spot it.
You didn't see it?
I looked in the exact same spot. It was not
It's
there.
literally the biggest thing on the planet.
I know. So I'm told.
Also,
I'm
last
sorry
week,
I'm sorry to think that that's
Dang
like
it, guys.
a
Okay,
hoax
hold on.
against
Everyone
me.
stop talking.
see even more.
Everyone, shh. Shh.
It's good for our audio listeners.
Okay, go ahead. Wait, hold on.
I'm just gonna go. So can I just talk?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
We're fine.
So, even more of a tragedy. We went to the beach last week, and he was in the ocean.
And you didn't see it?
I couldn't the
It's
entire
because-
time.
We tried our best to try to make him see it.
Nobody can tell there's a straw in here because I'm sipping it like this.
Anyway, so here's some news updates. We're now on Spotify.
We are on Spotify.
We
We
Yeah,
figured
we're
it
on
out.
Spotify.
We figured out how to
We
do
are
it.
on Spotify.
Yeah, all 21 episodes are up, and well, by the time you're seeing this, 22 will be up.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
Also, I haven't told you, I got a job.
Oh, you got a job?
Yeah.
Where?
A coffee shop
Where?
on campus.
Where? Wait, which one?
Is
Is there only
Heritage.
one?
There's
Oh,
3.
There's 3.
And I got to one that's owned by Starbucks, but it's good. I
Oh,
only have
well.
I only have one shift a week, plus I can cover any shift I want.
That's an amount of money.
Yes, it's something. And my first shift was today.
Nice. How was it?
It was good. It was really easy, actually.
Oh, nice.
If you've worked at a fast food place, every other fast food place is basically the same.
That's true.
It's the same thing. It's just different food. But yeah, I was telling Jalen today, I recommend everyone to work in the fast food industry at least once
At least once.
in their life for
The
like
food industry.
for like
in
4
general.
months at least.
Anything in. I would recommend everyone.
Anything in food.
Anything in the service
Food
industry.
service. Food service.
Any service industry kind of thing.
It's more of like to feel empathy for people that get yelled at for doing for
Yeah.
trying their best.
So then when you go to restaurants later in life and whatever else,
And
any
they-
service places, you
Yeah.
treat them better.
Just treat them better.
And also you harden your heart so nobody affects you at all. And you don't feel anything anymore.
yeah,
What kind of job do you think you wouldn't recommend to someone ever do in their life? Childcare.
Why? Like
I
being
hate
a father?
children.
Being a father?
That I feel like that's person to person. No, just childcare.
No. I don't think anyone should care for children. Down with the patriarchy.
That's not the same thing, but hey,
it's pretty much the
do you
same
want to
thing.
explain your reasoning? Have you ever had a job in the childcare?
Yes.
Have you ever had a job?
Yeah. I've had a few, I think. I worked for the Nu'uanu YMCA. If you work there, get out. Like now.
No one that works there is watching this. No one is watching this.
Get out.
Yeah.
It was probably the worst experience of my life.
Was it
It
that
was-
bad?
Work-wise, yeah. I mean, it was only my second job.
Right.
The first being with the YMCA, and then it was just I
Childcare.
moved into a different position, so it was like a second job. I had
Right.
to reapply for
We
certain
lost
things.
2 candles, boys.
Why do you keep staring at the candles, man?
Thank you for your service.
Fight on.
For old SC.
I used to work in childcare, and we were so undertrained for the kids we were getting.
Mm.
I have so many stories of kids just
Being bad?
yes.
Yeah.
They're not even being kids. They're just being
Monsters.
pre-failed adults.
So they're going to be failed adults.
Yes. It was actually really sad. It's like,
Oh.
I looked at some of those kids and I'm like, wow, you have no future. And, like, that sounds really bad to say,
Yes.
but that is the genuine opinion I have of some of those kids, just because of, like, their home lives. It's very tragic.
Mhm.
There was a kid who was a total kleptomaniac. His dad was, like, his only parent. His mom was in jail. His older brother was in juvie, and like his dad was like a total weed addict, and the kid was he just stole everything.
Yeah.
Honestly, the biggest offense was when he stole some kid's Nintendo DS and he received it back. I wasn't necessarily offended that he stole the Nintendo DS. I was more offended that he played on the save file.
Oh.
It was Pokemon. And
And
now
he
there's
just
there's this like hour gap in that kid's save file. Like they got it back,
Yeah.
but it's like it's tainted, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a tainted file now.
Yes.
Dang, man. See, I've worked in childcare before. It wasn't that bad, but it was in a Christian elementary school. So I guess they were more in strict boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm guessing I had less kids than you.
Probably.
Yeah, I didn't have that many kids to take care of each shift.
I think the most kids I had at once was like 51, something like that.
Jeez.
That's a lot.
I
Yeah.
cannot picture you doing that. I'm gonna be honest.
No, me neither.
Well, it was. I'm exaggerating a little. It was like 51 split between 2 leaders.
Still.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, it's under
26
technically
and
my
a half
care.
kids each.
Yeah, the half is the worst. That's what really pushes it over the
Yeah,
edge.
yeah, that half.
That half kid.
25 is easy. That half, that 25 and a half.
Ooh. Dang.
It's really easy to lose half a kid. Losing a whole kid? Nah, that's super hard.
That's
But the half, that's where they get you.
That's where that's good. Sneaky.
So you live in Hawaii.
Yeah.
What's that like? Is the poverty as hardcore as everyone says?
Yes.
Okay, good to know.
Hawaii is the world leader. Not world leader. They're the national leader of homelessness in the nation. It's kind of... It makes a lot of sense, and it's also really sad. Probably because we're being illegally occupied. But, you know,
Still,
what do I know about
when
that?
did Hawaii get occupied?
I don't know, whenever they added the 50th star.
1950 something?
Not.
1970?
No, it was earlier than that.
1960.
I'm pretty sure.
Middle.
Hey Siri,
Hey, Alexa.
when was Hawaii occupied? Wait.
1893.
No, that's not. That can't be right.
Long time ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah, the poverty is really bad. A lot of it has to do with our economy and how dependent we are on specific industries. Like we're
What kind of industries are you guys?
the number one industry is definitely tourism,
Right.
which kind of sucks because to
You
get a
guys are
job in
dependent on it.
tourism, it's definitely like a middle to upper class job working in tourism or starting a business in tourism, which creates this ceiling, right, for the lower income people. A lot of it too is because we're so reliant on tourism, are like the living cost of Hawaii is very high. Like taxes a lot. Minimum wage isn't a lot either. Like I was astounded when I came here and learned that $15 was minimum wage.
Well, California is the leading, I think.
It's one of the highest,
New York
if not the
California,
highest.
yeah.
Well, in Hawaii, it was something like, I think when I first started working, it was like 10 something, and then it got bumped up to 11 something.
At
recently.
16, it was 11. When I was 16, it was 11. So 4 years ago.
So,
Right now, it's 13.
But yeah, the living cost of Hawaii is so high. Also, weed and drugs is a huge issue in Hawaii because it's not legal. So it kind of run rampant in the streets.
Right.
And yeah, it's great. You should come visit Hawaii.
I've visited.
Really?
Yeah.
What island did you visit?
Kauai.
How was that?
It was really cool. It was very, very cool.
Cool.
Yeah. That's
What island do you live on?
I live on Oahu.
Oahu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite island?
Not Oahu.
Oahu.
My favorite island is probably the Big Island.
Really?
Yeah. Don't visit them. They hate visitors.
I've heard that that's the worst place to visit because everyone visits it.
No, I think Oahu's the worst place to visit. Because if you're visiting Oahu, then it's like, well, why aren't you just visiting another better city like LA?
That's a good point.
Okay.
Like a big reason why I moved out to LA is because Hawaii has like no opportunity.
Yeah.
Specifically in my industry, I'm going into film.
Yeah.
So like, it's harder to.
I mean, LA is the place to go for that.
Right. But also just like the city of Hawaii, the only difference is that it's smaller and traffic is more dense.
Yep.
Oh wow! So it's just worse in every way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, if you go to Oahu, there actually are a lot of good places to eat. Counterpoint: just go to the Big Island and find better places to eat.
I had the first time I had poke was on was in Hawaii on Kauai. It was really good. It was very good.
Very good.
I still need to visit Hawaii. I haven't visited Hawaii since I was in like middle school, and I don't really remember it because it was like a weekend or something. So I'm gonna try to visit Hawaii, stay at Jalen's place, and he's gonna try to take me to good poke places because I like poke too. I've only had poke here in California, and that's supposedly like B tier poke at its best, compared to Hawaiian poke. So
yeah, Hawaii poke is very good. I'm an elitist when it comes to fish.
yes,
I've never even caught my own fish.
Wow, so you're not even Hawaiian, are you?
No, I'm not. I don't count.
It doesn't. No, you don't.
I never caught a fish.
Until you catch a fish with your bare hands.
it's in the Constitution.
It doesn't
dude,
matter
right?
where. If it doesn't, you don't even have to be in Hawaii.
No.
If you catch a fish with your bare hands, you automatically become Hawaiian.
Yeah.
That's why I'm Hawaiian, technically.
Right.
Technically speaking. Because I caught a fish.
Did you actually with your bare hands?
Not at all.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a fish on your hat, so I mean,
I caught this fish with my bare hands.
Oh my God, are you Hawaiian?
It's according to the Constitution.
He didn't catch it.
I don't make the rules, so.
Yeah.
So you said you were going into the film industry.
Mm-hmm.
What's like the most exciting thing about that, do you think?
The most exciting thing about going into film. I think I have a story about the most exciting thing that's happened in relation to film.
Do tell!
And also in relation to grabbing things with your bare hands.
Both at the same time?
Yeah, both at the same time. So I was on my friend's senior thesis recently. It's like supposed to be like a 20-minute short film, coming of age story, surrounding these three kids. It's called Blue Cherries. A big pivotal part of the story is like when they go to the convenience store and get slushies. So we were shooting at a convenience store. This happened like less than a month ago. Mm-hmm. We were shooting at this convenience store, and technically it's not a convenience store; it's a liquor store in the middle of Anaheim. So it's like kind of close to Disneyland.
Right.
We thought the location was going to be like nice and dandy. We thought that we kind of bought the location out. Turns out we were guerrilla shooting, and that's fine. Like I have like no beef with the producers or anything like that. It's just like we just shoot a little short film, doesn't matter, right? Mm-hmm. But they were total like crackheads that were just like passing through.
Anaheim is actually
that's
pretty,
Anaheim for you.
yeah, it's actually
Sure,
pretty
sure.
like that.
But there was this one guy. He was totally like cracked out. He was high as a kite, but he was vibing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we had this one shot we needed to get, which was like this wide shot of the front of the liquor store, and the kids like in front of it, right? And so we were setting up camera facing the store, and the guy, he'd kind of been vibing. He'd kind of been yelling at cars that came through, but like not really doing anything. Kind of wandering around. He's chilling, gatekeeping, if you will, just a little bit.
Got it.
This big beetle, like big beetle, starts flying through frame, right? And like we see it, right?
Yeah.
And this guy, like his like head, like snaps to the beetle, right? And like instinctually, he like stands up, like from he was like sitting like this. He stood up like fast, and he ran straight over to the beetle, and he like traced it in the air for a second with his eyes, and then he caught it with his bare fist.
Dude,
No hesitation.
no
just
way.
like something out of like JoJo, you know? He just like
Yeah.
he grabbed it, and everyone like paused and like looked at each other. We're like,
Did I just see that?
and then he takes it, and he slams it into the ground like full Gronkowski, just like dunks that thing, right?
Dude.
And like we heard like the splat, you know? It was like, oh no, that beetle is very dead.
Yes.
Poppy's here.
He then moved over to this like no parking pole. It was like a pole, and he just starts like punching this thing, like, and then like the store owner comes out. He's like, "Hey, you can't do that," and he's like, and he goes and he just sits back down like nothing had happened.
Oh my gosh.
And we're like, "Were you rolling? Did you get that?" And they got like the tail end, so like they got the slam.
Okay.
It was
They didn't
incredible.
get the catch.
No, they didn't get the
That's a
catch.
bummer.
It was like
I'd like to
catch.
see that.
He walked over, slammed, walked over to the pole, and just like
Wailed on it.
wailed on it.
That's insane.
That's a great experience.
That's a great
Yeah,
story.
it was. That was like, you talk about like out of body experiences that you only get like once in your life. Yeah, that's a story I'm going to be telling for probably
Forever.
the next couple decades.
Yeah.
That's why in the film industry.
Yep,
That's
that's why
it.
I'm in
That
film.
was the reason. That made it
I
all worth it.
It's all about community outreach and reaching the homeless.
Right.
Right. I was sure to share the gospel with him after.
Right.
I went up to him and hey, have you heard
I
of
said,
John
"Hey, have you heard of-"
3:16
Yeah.
before?
Just say that, and then you just leave.
But in all seriousness, what am I excited the most for in the film industry? If I'm being completely honest,
Fame and fortune.
Yes.
no. I will not be rich. I actually have no job security.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's all freelance work. But what I'm looking forward to the most, genuinely, is getting to be pretentious
Oh,
about movies.
Yeah. I do that for free.
Right. A big problem that I have everywhere I go is that nobody respects my opinions enough, and no one knows who I am.
But now that you're in the movie industry, or you will be, people will respect your opinion.
Well,
about
I can tell people, hey, I got a degree in this. Shut up.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And then I can proceed to tell them why exactly Aquaman is as bad as it is.
So, okay. Having said that,
Both of those work, yes.
then said,
Mm-hmm.
what is an opinion that you have on either a movie that is hated that you loved or a movie that is loved that you hated that has gotten the most backlash?
Oh, that's a very good question.
Because we've had these conversations before.
I would like to
They
yell at you
don't
about some
get
movies.
like violent.
The movie that I got the most backlash for was A Quiet Place.
Did you hate it or love it?
That movie is trash.
Okay. Why?
It tries to be a horror film and utterly fails. I have spoken, actually, to multiple people on this, and I've had my mind changed. I think I've come to terms with the fact that A Quiet Place is probably an objectively good movie. I just have a million subjective problems with it.
Okay.
But to me, the reason I think when I watched it the first time, the reason I didn't like it is because I'm a huge horror fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It's more thriller than horror, though.
exactly, and so there was this guy, Evan France. He was the first guy who ever broke my armor on that. I went to war on this with probably at least 5 people. Actually, one of my Bible teachers back in high school, who's also like a movie fanatic, Lord of the Rings guy. He was like, A Quiet Place was so good, and he was like raving about it in class. I was like, that movie was trash, Mr. Trauber, and here's why. And I laid it all out for him, and he's like, you're wrong. I don't remember what he actually said, but he had like a good argument. To me, it's like, as a horror film, I expected it to be a horror film, and conceptually, it makes a really good horror film.
It could. The concept of it could.
Yeah, it could make a good horror film. It goes back to this older era of horror where there are monsters, and these monsters have very clear weaknesses.
Yeah.
Except a large part of the scariness of the film is not really knowing, like, you plumb horror from the unknown.
Yeah.
A big part about monster films that I like strongly am an advocate for is you never show your monster.
I was actually going to say, they dropped the monster too fast.
Exactly.
Too early in the movie.
And I think even for a thriller, it fails in that regard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It shows it way too fast.
I love old horror movies where you don't see the monster until the
Yes.
last 5... If you see the monster at all.
It's like in the last 5 minutes.
It's in the last 5 minutes. I do agree that... I think they revealed the monster way too early.
In older horror films that do that right, I think there's a lot of trash horror
Of course.
But and they're like goofy and stuff, but when you get down to it, it's like when you finally see the monster, there is this incredible amount of payoff and catharsis that comes in a moment of pure fear and reverence for this thing that you're looking at that has terrorized you for the last hour and a half.
Yeah.
Right? Like Alien is probably my favorite monster film of all time.
That is a great one.
It is a very good movie. And they only show I mean, everyone talks about it, but they only show the monster, like the alien, for like less than like 5 minutes.
Less than 5 minutes.
And I find that absolutely incredible because I was terrified the whole time.
Yeah,
Quiet Place fails in that regard.
Yes, I would agree with that. I would completely agree with that. And the end is just cheesy.
Yeah, and the end completely does not fit the rest of the film. But the film does succeed in a lot of other regards. If I were to tell you that I wasn't watching my own breath during the duration of the film because I was so aware of the ambient noise in the theater around me, that would be a disservice to the film, and I'd be lying because I definitely was.
The silence the movie created, like they basically manufactured science, genius, and they did it amazingly.
Yeah.
But some other parts of the movie had their weak points. Overall, I do think it's a good movie, though.
Sure.
I think it's.
I have problems with it being a horror film, and then my friend Evan talked to me, and he's like, "Actually, it's a thriller movie, and it'll always fail as a horror film if you continually judge it as a horror film."
Exactly, it is a thriller film more than it's a horror movie.
Yes. To which I say, why the hell would you make it a thriller?
Exactly.
You could have made it such a better movie.
Yeah.
I think even just changing, if they had waited and revealed the monster later in the movie, that would have even made it scarier.
Absolutely.
That would have made it closer to a horror than a thriller. But after they reveal the monster, it becomes more running from the monster rather than being like, what is the monster?
Yeah.
So that's when it becomes more thriller than horror.
A big part was like it was like one of my I was really, really looking forward to watching A Quiet Place. I was like, it was like John Krasinski.
Yeah.
The trailer looked good.
And I was like, this is star-studded. Yep. It's beautiful. It's gonna be great. And then I remember sitting through the first 5 minutes of it, and I'm like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, it has an absolutely incredible exposition, sets up the rules of the world very fast.
What were you saying?
So,
the exposition.
Sets up
the exposition. It's a really good exposition.
In the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. And then they never return to that tension.
No.
It's like calm the entire time, yeah.
Up until they reveal the monster, it is a horror movie. You're scared. Like, at least I was like scared the whole time up until that point. And then once they do, it's more just, it feels more action-y than than horror. Because now, rather than like being afraid of the unknown and such, you're running from a tangible thing.
Yeah, you're running away from this giant fleshy ear.
Exactly.
Like, what's scary about an ear? You know?
Yeah. But the ear can kill you. That's the scary part.
Yeah, but I don't care. Okay. That's not the fear.
No.
I'm not scared of dying. I'm scared of not knowing when I'm gonna die.
Exactly. It was scarier before they revealed the monster.
Yeah.
They definitely did that too early.
Season 1 of Stranger Things, they only showed the Demogorgon. I think the last episode, or like the
Yes.
beginning of
They
the second.
built that up very well.
I mean, the end of the second to last episode. They
Yeah.
built that up a lot. They got a snapshot of it once, and then that's it. They've gotten descriptions
Yeah.
of it, but that's it. I think that was a great modern
did
retelling
that-
of
they
a
did that
monster
build up very
movie
well.
because it's in the 80s. It's like when monster movies started to get like really popular. 'Cause I think they did that really well. I think that's a good representation, and I do agree with your point where like because they didn't do that, it just wasn't that scary.
Yeah, they could have made it more horror, but I don't know if that's what they were going for. Maybe
What do
they
you
were
expect
going
from
for more
Jim
thriller.
from The Office, dude?
A lot, because he's actually a good actor.
Name. Shut up.
Hey,
And the fact that-
we can do the Jim thing right now.
And the fact
There we
that
go. See, I'm
him and
John
Emily
Krasinski.
Blunt are actually married is really cool, and they played a married couple in the movie, but that was fun. And the fact that the girl is actually deaf in real life was also cool.
That's cool. Too.
So like the details and stuff of the movie are good, and the concept of the movie is great, but I do agree that it fails as a horror movie.
As a
It's-
thriller,
As a thriller, it's not bad. It's an interesting concept. It's The Last of Us, but faster.
yeah.
That's exactly what it is. As a thriller, it's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
As if you look at it as a horror movie, though, it is bad.
Yeah,
It is
exactly.
not a good horror movie.
And I think that's like a large part of my frustration with it, and I've come to terms with it. It's just like, yeah, I think this is an objectively good thriller. It just makes me wonder, why did you just not make it a horror film?
Yeah,
Like you would
because
have done.
it easily could have been.
It easily could have been. You make like a couple changes, and it's
And the trailers did kind of present it as a horror
Yeah.
film.
exactly. And so
So
I don't know. I think maybe that's a lot of it. Like on first watch was like me going with all these like preconceptions about what the
Yeah.
film was gonna be, and it just falls flat on its face. Like it was so funny. I watched that with my girlfriend. My girlfriend hates horror, and every so often, I'll like there's like some like rave horror movie that's coming out, and I'll be like, hey, I'll trade you 5 chick flicks for this one horror movie.
Nice.
one horror movie. That's
And
great.
she'll be like, deal.
Do you guys have a punch card?
No, but I've watched a lot of chick flicks.
Yeah.
But I remember we went to A Quiet Place, we watched it, and then afterwards, like, we looked at each other, she was like, that was trash. And I'm like, yeah, that was trash. And it was like, there's like this validation from someone
Yeah.
who doesn't actually like horror. Saying that it's bad is like, for someone who has like such a low tolerance for scariness,
Yeah.
you know? Like, it was validating.
Did you like it?
Yes,
Okay.
I love it.
I loved it too.
What about It Part 2? I thought that was trash.
I'd never watched it.
I also have a controversial opinion on it too.
You liked it?
Yeah, I did like it.
Okay.
That was a bad movie.
It's a bad movie, but I liked it.
Okay, that's as long as you acknowledge that it's a bad movie.
Yeah.
You can like bad movies. I like the first Fast and Furious movie.
Oh yeah,
That's a terrible movie.
That movie is. I think the one thing I could say about it, Chapter 2, is it's self-indulgent. It is the most self-indulgent film I had seen. I didn't even see it in a theater. It's just like I had seen in general. Like wow, they have a vision for their own story, and they do not care if it is palatable at all to a wider
wasn't.
audience. It wasn't.
It wasn't.
But I was a fan of the first one. I'm a fan of the actors.
I love the first one. The first
Yeah,
one
the first
is
one
a
is
great
great.
movie.
More of a comedy than a thriller to me.
Yeah,
Sure,
pretty much.
sure. Though I think that was the film for me that kind of reinvented the jump scare. I think movies like that and A Quiet Place actually.
Part
A
1 or
Quiet
2?
Place. Part 1.
Okay.
I think
I've
Part
never
1
seen it.
legitimately has some tasteful stuff. Tasteful in the sense that it knows it's a film that's going to be a cultural movement
Yeah.
to a certain degree, and it knows that a lot of its audience are literally expecting jump scares.
Mm-hmm.
So to not have any of those in your film would be a disservice to the
True.
audience it's trying to cater
That's
to.
true.
Right? So in that regard, I think the jump scares in It Chapter 1 are very tasteful. I think jump scares are, like, they get put off, they get played off a lot of as, like, cheap, or they're lazy
Yeah.
filmmaking.
Yep.
And I agree, if you use it incorrectly.
Yeah, jump scares. I'm not a fan of jump scares in horror movies. I mean, when they're used correctly, like you're talking about in It Chapter 1, they're fun, they're good, but they have to be unique.
Yeah.
The common jump scare just bores me now because
Exactly.
grew up watching those old quote-unquote scary movies, like with my grandpa and stuff, where it was all build-up. Mm-hmm. It was all build-up.
It was
to,
suspense.
Exactly. It was the suspense and build-up and being scared of what you don't know, because you don't see those monsters until the last 5 minutes,
Right.
if you even see them at all.
Right.
So I am more of a fan of the build-up and suspense horror movies rather than the jump scares. And jump scares most of the time do feel cheap, but I do agree that in It Chapter 1, they were done much better than the average jump
The whole
scare.
scene
And I actually
in
very
the
much enjoy that movie.
Haunted house, or what the abandoned house, was
derelict
all
house,
good
yeah.
to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that was all good.
One of my favorite scenes in the whole thing was them running there on the corner. There were like three
The
doors.
three doors, yeah.
One
Oh, it's
said-
like scary.
Not
scary
scary
at
at
all.
all. Scary, very scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was funny and scary.
Yeah.
I really remember enjoying that part.
Yes, like I laughed.
Yeah.
like it was good. It was good. And
Continue.
sorry, and just watching kids scream like hysterically.
They're all good actors. All
Yeah.
the kids were good actors.
Just is kind of funny to
Yeah.
me, just because it's like I'd scream there too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they're not crying; they're just screaming like
Yeah.
like adults. I don't know.
To A Quiet Place's what is the word I'm looking for? To its benefit,
Je ne sais quoi.
something like that.
That means I don't know.
To praise A Quiet Place on its jump scares, I think it actually delivers in a really good way. A big part about horror is making. I think like sheer horror comes not from like the jump; it comes from the cringe. Like if what's on screen will like make me like visibly cringe.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's horror. So like in A Quiet Place, when like a needle drops, right, and it's like dead silent, and then there's like a sound, that is scary.
You're right.
Yeah, spoiler alert, when the kid dies at the beginning and you just see him the
you hear it
Yeah,
in
you
the
hear it
background.
and then,
I was like,
and then and then she turns around and you're like,
yeah.
oh no.
That,
and your whole body's
that
just
30
like,
seconds of
dang it.
John Krasinski running to his kid, that was good.
like that was good, intense, scary.
Right. And when there's jump scares that play to its own medium,
Yes.
like to break tension, it's incredible. Like there is such a thing as the tasteful jump scare.
Yeah.
A Quiet Place uses it very well because it's a movie about being quiet, and it's very easy to break silence, right? It's like there's like a very thin line that you walk. It Chapter 2 also does it very well. So yeah,
I've
the
never
tasteful
seen it.
jump scare.
So what are 5 horror movies that we haven't mentioned yet you would recommend, do you think? Not 5, but like a couple.
Scream, the original Scream. I love that movie. It's
So, like,
cheesy.
Is it about screaming?
Have you ever seen Scream?
I know what it is.
It's cheesy and it's self-aware about horror movies, and it makes fun of horror
Yeah,
movies.
it's
And I enjoy that movie.
it's the only satire that's allowed to exist.
Yeah.
Horror movies. Well, actually, last night I watched The Invisible Man for the first time.
The original?
No,
The new one.
The
Or
new
one,
the new
okay.
one, the new one. I thought it was. I think it's overrated, but it's good. Like it's or it's okay. Like
it didn't seem appealing to me at all.
Well, first of all, aren't they trying to set up the whole new Monsterverse or whatever they call it? Like they were trying to do with Tom Cruise's The Mummy and whatever. Anyway, I don't care about not jump scares. I don't care about spoilers. Jordan, do you care about spoilers
No.
for this movie? Wasn't it just like a guy in a high-tech invisible suit the whole time?
Mhm.
That's lame.
right.
That's lame.
So
You told me that before.
part of it is like they have to reinvent the monster.
And I understand that, but that's still lame.
Sure. I think that's entirely fair. I think we were talking about it last night. It's like it's the example of a crew that is firing on all cylinders to create this like technically it's very good.
Oh yeah.
You look at a lot of the camera movement. It's like how did you get that shot? Or like the scoring of the film, like and the editing,
Okay.
like the way that it's put together. It's very like technically competent.
I can imagine how a movie like that would be.
Yeah.
Would be cool.
The acting is pretty good, but it's the example of a crew firing on all cylinders and being held back by a mediocre script.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cinematography, fire. Sound, fire. Acting, yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but that's your plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. The suit really gets me because like the point of what a monster is the kind of the supernatural.
It's not
about
a
it,
normal person.
and it's just a normal
But
person.
now it's just a normal person.
and
Yeah.
in a suit that's supposed to be, I don't know.
Well, I think there is some merit to the humanity behind it. It's just not a theme the movie explores super well. If the theme of your movie was to plumb horror from like the suit itself and how scary it is for maybe like one man to push technology that far, then yeah, sure, maybe there's something to explore there. Instead, what the movie like extracts a lot of its elements from is the sheer terror of not being believed by anyone, which is what C experiences in the full film.
You're right. Okay.
So
And that is scary. That is a scary.
That is
that
scary.
itself made her insane, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
in my mind, it's not a monster movie.
right,
It's not at all a monster movie, though it's based on The Invisible Man,
Mm-hmm.
which is one of the oldest monster movies ever.
I can't wait for more monster movies. Because
They've been trying to redo it. They tried to redo it with Dracula Untold. They tried to
when did that come out?
like 2009 or something.
okay.
Dracula Untold, starring whoever played Gaston, Luke Evans. He was there. He was Dracula. They tried to restart that MonsterVerse. They tried to restart it with The Mummy. In Tom Cruise is The Mummy, not Brendan Fraser's The
Both
Mummy.
failed, right?
Brendan Fraser's The Mummy didn't. Could have failed. It might have failed, technically speaking. It's a good movie, though. The first one. Only the first one. Dracula Untold failed. Tom Cruise's The Mummy failed. They keep trying to restart it, and there's such, like, rich storytelling there, but it almost has to be campy.
Mm-hmm.
You have to angle it as saying, this is a remake of the old ones. But if you do that too much, it's bad. There's a very thin line they have to walk in order to make this MonsterVerse good.
Right.
But I think it is doable. They just haven't done it yet because they keep trying to reinvent it rather than saying, hey, we're going to make a MonsterVerse again, but it's going to be cool because it's going to be updated.
Didn't they just make a new
with today's
Halloween,
technology.
too?
Yeah,
that was
but
a
that's
few
a
years
sequel,
ago, right?
though, actually. So it's
Okay.
continuing the story. And
Was-
Jamie Lee Curtis is still in it.
Yeah. Is that coming out, or is that already out?
They made one. They're making another one, actually.
Okay,
With-
so they're
still
making a
with
third
Jamie
one.
Lee Curtis.
Was that good?
What do you mean third one? This is like the 8th one.
Well, I mean, I meant like...
Yes.
Second-
The last one was pretty good.
You saw it?
Yes.
Okay.
I've seen almost all of the Halloween movies except for Halloween.
Town.
No, I've seen Halloween Town except for one of them. The whatever the worst one is. This one kind of retcons some stuff. But the most recent one, which was I think 2018, retcons some stuff because originally it was Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, which was completely different and bad, and then they did one called H2O, which is Halloween 20 years later. So
Water?
It was 20 years
What?
after the first Halloween.
Yeah, that's what the H actually stands for, and H2O is Halloween.
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 Yes.
Halloween 2.
Halloween 2.
Oh no.
I mean, it's 2
Halloween
0.
2.
It's
Oh,
2
no.
0. It's 20 years later, and that was actually a good movie. But the 2018 Halloween actually takes place after the Halloween 2. So everything in
Wait,
between.
so it's a pre-sequel?
Yes, everything in between Halloween 2 and the newest Halloween from 2018, which I think there were 3 movies in there, and I'm forgetting one of them, didn't happen now.
Okay.
So it takes
Wait,
place
wait,
after
what?
this. Yes.
So it's not canon, or the other ones
No,
are canon?
now the other ones aren't canon.
I've
H2O
never seen
and
any
Halloween
of-
3.
I've only seen the first
Watch
one.
the first one. Watch the first one. If you like it a lot, watch the next ones. I've just seen all of them because I'm that kind of guy.
Is Halloween with Jason?
Halloween is Jason.
Okay.
Wait, yes. Wait, yes.
No.
No, Halloween.
No,
sorry,
is that
that's
Michael
Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I'm dumb, apparently.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Which is considerably worse, but I think everyone should see that too, just for pop culture references.
Yeah.
I think they're making another one too.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
I
I think
didn't
it's a
know that.
reboot. Pretty sure it's a reboot.
Mm-hmm.
There have been like 20 of those.
Yeah.
There's one called Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
That's how many of those there have been.
Well, there's Freddy versus Jason.
Yes.
There's-
And where
and then
they
there's
both
Freddy
go to
versus
hell
Jason.
and they fight each other.
Is that good?
No.
Okay.
I've only seen the first Friday the 13th, and it's worth a watch only for pop culture references.
Freddy
It's not a
Krueger
good
just
one.
as a concept is super scary to me.
But after that episode of Rick and Morty, he's not anymore.
Yeah. That's such a great.
That's
You can run, but you can't hide. Oh wait,
well,
you can't hide.
Where'd you go?
Oh no.
You can't hide. Where were we, man? Halloween was good.
Other horror movies.
yes,
that
I
I've seen.
completely hijacked that whole.
No,
thing,
no,
sorry.
you're fine. You're fine. Invisible Man. I would recommend that. That's like a contemporary, like, I wouldn't call it a banger, but that's that would be like a fun
Horror movie.
Thursday night, specifically Thursday.
Thursday night.
That's a
Not
Thursday night
Friday
movie. No.
This isn't a whole I'll watch on Halloween type.
No.
movie.
That's like
It's
a
couple days
it's like a
before
build up
Halloween.
movie.
Okay.
It's like a warm up horror, I'd say.
Okay, I got you.
What else is there? I would put The Shining and The Alien both up there.
Okay.
Phenomenal. Alien.
Both great.
Alien a little bit less so in terms of Halloween though.
It's not. It does not have a Halloween vibe at all.
No.
Can,
but it's
fortunately-
still
good.
scary as hell.
Yeah.
Fortunately, that means it can be watched any time of year,
Exactly.
which is great.
It is the best horror movie.
I would
Period.
definitely put it up there.
Actually, it's probably not the best horror movie.
I don't know what I would call the best, but that would definitely be up there. It would be a contender.
I'm gonna look at my letterbox. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead,
This
go
is
ahead.
a sin.
What about Haunted Mansion?
I was just gonna say.
Segway.
Did you watch that together or
No.
something?
No.
We watched it
You just
separately.
both watched it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's the best Halloween
That's
movie I've ever seen in my life.
that's how a movie review. That's how it works.
mhm.
So first we're gonna rate the movie, then we're gonna rate the ride. So
And then we'll
the
come
movie
back to
starring
Jalen's
Eddie
thing.
Murphy is one of the best movies I've ever
It's
seen
so
in my life.
good, and it's so dumb.
It's so dumb.
It's such a 2000s movie, and I love it.
It's the most
so
2000s
much.
movie I've ever seen in my life.
If you haven't seen it, please watch it. It's just dumb fun.
Every kids Eddie Murphy movie is
and
such.
it's dumb fun.
It's like okay,
It's dumb, but it's so much
Daddy
fun to
Daycare
watch.
and Haunted Mansion
Daddy
are really the
Daycare.
same movie.
I love Daddy Daycare.
They're the same movie.
Well, I don't know about
A
that.
dad who it hasn't.
It's Eddie Murphy being dumb. And
No,
a
no, no.
dad.
It's a dad who is obsessed with his work that goes through something to realize that family is more important. Those are both the same movie.
The only difference is in Haunted Mansion they almost die.
Well,
That's the big thing that happens.
Baby.
Death.
you can
Almost.
say that.
Well, literally.
Fatherhood is like death.
Another movie or two actually.
You could say that technically.
You could.
I think these
Yes.
both came out.
Go
These
ahead.
both came out in 2016.
Yes, go ahead, say them. Okay.
Don't
say
breathe.
them.
Don't breathe.
I've never seen that one.
And Hush.
Hush. I watched half of Hush and then
We
I got
watched
distracted
half of
by
Hush
something else.
together. And
Oh,
then we
don't worry.
No, we
The,
didn't.
the second half is probably
I watched
exactly
it
the same
alone.
as the first.
Remember, we watched it at your apartment in
I
Oregon.
don't trust you. No, we didn't.
No,
We
I'm
watched
telling
something
the
else.
truth.
That was Hush.
No.
No,
didn't
wait.
watch
We
Hush.
watched.
Hush.
Is that the one with the deaf girl in the cabin? Yeah.
We did not watch Hush in.
We watched the
in
first
my,
30 minutes.
in my apartment in Oregon.
Yes, we did.
It's okay. You watch the first 30 minutes, you get all of it. Honestly, you could watch the first 5 minutes, you get all of it, because it's a short film that's been extended to 82 minutes.
Really?
Directed by Mike Flanagan, my hero.
So.
So I watched it.
I don't trust you saying the second half is exactly
Well-
the same as the first half because it sounded sarcastic.
No, I'm really not being sarcastic. It's actually just, like, I think it's contemporary horror done well, it's just done too long. Like, it's...
Well, then I've seen the first half, so I'm fine.
Yeah, it's a movie I would say you don't have to finish, but you could finish it if you want to. It's definitely worth your time, the first 30 minutes.
All right.
And then Don't Breathe by, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Fede Alvarez? Fed Alvarez?
Okay.
I wanted to watch that one. I never
I've
saw it.
kind
though.
of heard of it. Can you give
That's
me
the one with the-
like
the-
a synopsis?
It's just like,
The
they're
blind
like,
guy in the lights, right?
yeah, the guy is blind, but he echolocates like a dolphin in his own house. There are 3 kids, they decide to burglarize him.
Okay.
So they try.
And then
But he's
they-
got like all these like it's like Home Alone, the
Yeah.
guy. He's like Home Alone.
So it's like Home Alone, but
And-
he's blind.
It's Home Alone, but
Yeah.
Daredevil.
Yeah. It's
Daredevil,
it's
Home Alone.
It's honestly like I always surprised by it. I think it's a movie that deserves more credit than it gets. It's definitely trash.
okay.
Okay.
But for someone if you like movies that are like all killer no filler, it's a good movie for
Alright.
that. Like once the movie picks up after about like 15 minutes, it's just like it's going and it like there's no like good plot. There's like I don't feel anything for these characters.
Uh-huh.
I am just stressed out because there are so many just good moments.
Okay.
It's also incredibly cheap. The ending is garbage, like
Yeah.
D tier trash.
It's hard to end a horror movie well.
Well,
yeah, I would agree.
actually, they had an out. Like, there's a part in the movie where it's like that would be a great ending,
Okay.
and they keep it going for another 20 minutes
Oh, yikes.
when they reveal the dog. That's a spoiler, but
Yeah.
I won't spoil it. But that's a movie that
The
I
dog
think
is also blind. Ooh.
Hush is worth your time. So is Don't Breathe.
Didn't you
Happy
watch?
Death Day. That's a trash one that turns out to be fun.
Um,
But you can't actually take it seriously at all.
Isn't
And
there a
don't
new
fully
one?
watch it. Have it on.
Isn't there a new thriller with Steve Harrington in it?
Yeah, Spree. I watched it.
Spree?
Is it good?
I thought it was good. I thought it was like this is a very Sundance film.
Okay.
Because it is a Sundance film, but
Okay.
it's like very like, yep. It's another movie that's literally all killer, no filler.
Okay.
It's very fun, like slice of life ish. Has a very clear message. Kind of gets really pretentious about it at points and a little overbearing. But at the end, it's still like, yeah, that was good. Like I think it's a movie that if you're a film student, you'll appreciate it a lot.
Yes.
Because that's like the kind of stuff that like
I feel like that's what Sundance is for.
Yeah, Sundance is for the indie
That's
film.
exactly what it is.
It's for the not over budget movies to make good content without a lot of money.
Velocipaster.
That's the best
Don't
one I've
even
ever
get me.
seen in my
Have
life.
you watched Velocipaster?
No,
You've
but
never seen it,
but
so you can't say anything.
But I've seen it.
No,
Don't
you
worry.
haven't.
Yes.
No, you haven't.
The creators actually tweeted at me. I quote tweeted them.
I know
and they
what it is,
responded.
and I've seen clips of it.
Hell never changes.
And I've
Hell never changes.
and I read a
though.
review.
It's so
So
good.
good.
It's so
review
good.
on it.
Just the editing itself at like the first 5 minutes is so good. Oh my god.
It's war is hell and hell never changes is the full quote. It's so fire, so fire.
Velocipaster, guys.
I would actually recommend
Prime
that.
Video.
So the first time I watched that movie actually was with a group of people. They hit me up. They're like, "Hey, Jalen, you want to watch Parasite for the 6th time?" And I'm like, "Sure,
Yeah,
I'll
watch-
watch Parasite,
watch Parasite,
for the
too.
6th time." And we watched it, and we're like, "Wow, that was so good. We need to cleanse our palates." Then someone booted up Velocipaster.
Yeah.
And it was a double feature night. We watched Parasite and Velocipaster back to back.
Both extremes. One really good and one Parasite. So let's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
One the greatest movie
All
you've
time.
ever seen,
And
and the other one is
Parasite.
Parasite. Unpopular opinion of my own. I don't think Parasite has any rewatchability.
Disagree.
Okay. Now we're moving on.
You want to move on to Parasite?
Hey, Parasite. I mean, the full message, the broad, not the full message, but the broad message of the movie is very clear throughout. It's not subtle in any way whatsoever. And there's a B.
There's a B.
There's a B.
Hello,
I
B.
think I've only seen it once.
Yeah.
I think I'll have to see it one more time, just so because I've seen that there's a lot of motifs. There's a lot of references.
There's
to,
a lot of
to the
little
themes.
stuff going on.
Yeah, that's
but
why
I feel
I
like
like
it all
about movies,
plays
though.
into the broad theme of rich, bad, poor, good, or not good, not bad and good, but where there's a class system and it's bad
Yeah.
Okay.
because it's the above and the below.
Right.
That's
right.
the whole theme of the movie.
Exactly. If you watch a lot of Bong's work, that's like in almost
Yeah,
everything
no,
does.
he does that a lot, and I like him as a director.
Right,
He's a
right,
good
right.
director, and that is an objectively good movie.
Right. Parasite, this is magnum opus. I have watched that film. I don't actually know what number I'm on. Am I on 9? I might be on 9.
Wow.
I have seen that movie a lot. I'm a simp for Bong Joon-ho.
I love his work. He's a very
But
good director.
it is a
Is it
technical
me?
masterpiece.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Goodbye, sir.
Bees
That was
are our friends.
That was a motif to the class system.
So, I give that a B. Out of B.
dude, that was so good.
Ah, thanks,
That
man.
was so good.
Yeah. B movie.
So actually, this is an interesting perspective that I have as a film student, specifically, is when I watch films and I study them with a critical eye. Think about how did they even get that shot, or I wonder what was necessary behind that.
Right.
I like watching films like that.
A big thing that I have been thinking about a lot recently are what are the films that I will be a student of. And Parasite is one of them. There's a select group of movies
And
that I would say I will forever be a student of this film.
and that's for cinematography purposes, for filmmaking purposes, that is an excellent movie to take from.
See, for me, it would be Shrek 2.
Sure.
Clearly.
And then,
I don't know. It's because I think it's probably just because I'm in film. I can entirely understand not wanting to watch that again. The twist is only good once.
yep.
But
But it's good.
It's good. When you watch it again, there are so many just small technical things they do that
Technically, it is a
it's
beautiful. It is
beautiful.
an insane movie. It is a beautiful.
There's this
movie.
one moment when the sister is talking to the
brother of the
rich
family.
Yeah.
um,
Okay.
about how her kid has like schizophrenia or whatever. He's like traumatized.
Remember.
Yeah.
There's this thing called the 180 line. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I haven't.
You
I
haven't?
don't believe.
Okay,
I don't believe
so in every scene, you'll notice this. In every like dialogue scene, there is an invisible line that the camera will never cross. So if this camera was like over here shooting Jordan right now, like we're conversing. If it's shooting Jordan, the next logical shot would be to put the camera there and shoot me, as opposed to put the camera behind Jordan and then shoot me.
Okay.
So there's like this line here,
Oh, I see.
and
Got
the
it.
camera operates in a 180
Right
cone
here.
right here.
Got it.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So that way, like, they're flipping from left and right on the screen.
Yeah.
So, like, your eye travels naturally, and there's, like, a natural dichotomy that's happening as you're watching the film. It just helps for flow.
Yeah.
That's, like, one of the golden rules, is, like, never help the line.
Yeah.
But in the moment in which the daughter is, like, getting inside the mother's head, they hop the line, so they both stay on the same side of the screen. So it'll be the mother's face, and then it'll cut directly on top to the daughter's face
that is cool.
to show that like she's getting in the head. And
Yeah.
so it's like small things like that. It's like, yeah, someone on set definitely thought about that. But it's like,
no, totally.
this is a better way to shoot it. Let's
Yeah.
do that.
Yes.
And
technically, that movie is
sure.
movie is insane. That movie
I
is
could-
amazing. All the little
I
details.
could have an entire podcast literally just talking
Yeah.
about that movie line for line.
Like for me in Shrek 2, I think that we can actually relate to. Both have movies that we could just talk forever about. What would be your movie?
Halloween Town 2 or Return to
Lost in
Halloween.
New York?
Lost in... This is the height of luxury. No, not any of the Halloween Towns. I don't know if I have that movie. Whatever. I do respect at the end of the movie that rather than leaving it on that sort of, oh, maybe that does happen, it cuts back to...
It's like, no, it just doesn't.
That just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, someday that will happen, and even though we know it's kind of in his imagination, it could leave it on that cliffhanger saying, oh, it might happen. There's a possibility that could happen. Rather than doing that, though, the movie decides to cut back to him still broke and writing that letter, and then you're like, oh, that's never going to happen.
So, like,
and I respect that choice immensely.
A lot of why I also really like Parasite is because it like decreases the line or like the border between like art house film and like narrative feature. You have Mulholland Drive, and then you have Infinity War, for the lack of like just like basic narrative structure.
Yeah.
And like something that just doesn't make any sense. You have David Lynch and you have everybody else,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So like for a movie like that that's tackling a lot of like these upper echelon problems of like race, it chooses to use its medium, film, to tell those themes, and has the narrative as almost the backdrop. Like to me, the narrative is almost a backdrop for all the technical things they're doing to tell the story better. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Parasite. Go watch it. 10 out of 10. Good movie.
Yes, definitely watch it.
Get Out by Jordan Peele.
Good movie.
That's a great Halloween, not even a Halloween movie. That's just a great movie. Great horror movie. I love
Can you believe that
movie.
was his debut film?
I know.
know,
What
right?
the hell?
After being known like for 10
comedy,
years
yeah,
for comedy.
For Key and Peele. How'd you guys feel about
Us?
Us? Thank you. Yes.
Didn't see it.
Good movie.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Technically, again, another technically good movie. Like the technical aspects of it, the way it's filmed and everything. I love the shots, some of the shots and everything, and the theme was fun and whatever.
Yeah,
I guess.
so
but
I have a lot of problem with Us too. Like I think it's,
yeah, I think it was just. I think it could have been better.
Not that bad.
And then the whole conspiracy theory with everyone has a doppelganger. I just thought that was weird, unique, but kind of weird, and didn't play into the more like
So,
horror side of the movie.
So in an interview, I think when they were talking about how this is Jordan Peele's sophomore film, right? After Get Out, and it's highly anticipated because Jordan Peele is Jordan Peele now, right?
Yeah.
He was talking about why Us is structured the way it is, with a very convoluted plot, almost like millions of plot holes, right? To which he literally replied, he says, "I just don't want there to be easy answers for anything or an answer at all." He says, part of the, like, it plumbs a lot from older horror where it's like, there doesn't have to be an answer. It's just scary.
It doesn't really make sense, but it's
He
not
said-
here to
he
make
said,
sense.
like,
It's
Which
just
is the
scary.
opposite of Get Out, where
Yeah.
everyone.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. He
everything
said
makes
he
sense,
said he loves Get Out, but he thinks Get Out gives the audience too many easy answers,
And it does. That is
and he
true.
wants to challenge the audience to make it up.
I think there's a line to walk though.
There is.
Between
I don't entirely agree with that
giving,
decision.
Giving all of the answers like in Get Out and giving none of the answers like in Us. I think both of those are extremes. And if for his next movie could find that line, that would be amazing because obviously he has directing chops. He has skill at what he's doing because he basically just started.
Yeah.
And he's already doing amazing movies. But I don't know if I liked the absolutely no answers structure of it. So
The reason
fair.
why we watch stories is so that we can get answers at the end.
yeah, even if it's not all of them. Like, I mean, obviously,
I've never seen Us.
this is
so
a very general.
Yeah, it's like it's not a complete circle. It's like a swirl, you know, like it
And
doesn't
it just-
totally complete itself.
It's contained, but it just kind of it never finishes.
Mm-hmm.
There's just it's open ended. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, people like some answers, not even all the answers, and this is a very general example of that. But I mean, Inception. It gives you some answers, but then it leaves you on that huge cliffhanger, and people love that movie. One of
Right.
the most famous movies of our generation.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't. It gives you some answers, but not all of them.
Right.
Because people like answers. Maybe not all of the answers, but people do like answers. So that was my main problem with Us. It just
Absolutely,
threw everything out
it
there.
is.
and it was
That's
like,
a very
you
fair
figure it out.
criticism of the film.
Yeah.
Again, technically good. The
Yeah.
script is a little like.
Scripts.
I wouldn't
weird.
say that it's lazy because he intentionally
Yeah.
leaves it the way
Yes,
it is.
Everything is intentional.
I just disagree with that choice.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that if I were a director.
Exactly,
But,
I wouldn't do that either.
but hey, it's not my fault.
yeah, it was still good.
It's still a good, enjoyable
Um,
movie.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the twist of. Do you care?
You already said it.
About Red? About how...
Oh, no, I don't.
No, you don't.
Please don't say it.
Okay. There's a different twist, and I did enjoy that twist. I didn't see that coming. Though, if I looked for it, it's very obvious. I just didn't see it coming because I didn't know what to expect going into that movie.
Mhm.
The twist in Get Out, I did not expect. I saw Get Out last year.
Yeah, I watched that with you.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
I
Banger.
love that movie.
Banger.
the whole time I loved
One of my favorite horror movies.
Yeah.
Easily. I love that movie.
so
And
our
Bradley
next-
Whitford is the villain. I like
Yes.
him as an actor, and as a villain, he's amazing.
Yeah.
My favorite commentary from Get Out was like another interview with Jordan Peele. They were talking about like how there's that scene where the what is her name, Rose is
Yeah.
like looking at pictures of black men online and sipping milk
Yep.
and
Yeah.
eating dry Fruit Loops,
Mhm.
right? And people are like, is like the milk like representative? It's like the whitest drink, right? It's like it's white and like Fruit Loops are like colors, right? And she's like eating the color. Like people are like looking into it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And then Jordan Peele like looks at them and they're like, you know, honestly, I just wanted to think. I thought to myself, what is the most psychotic thing for a psychopath to eat? And it is milk and dry Fruit Loops.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've seen that
I
interview.
was
It's so
like, that
good.
is
Great.
That is so good. Like,
It's so good.
I love that he like, and honestly, there probably is some meaning there.
Sure.
He's just totally doing it in the background.
Some-
Yeah,
subconscious.
it's not.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not him. Yeah, it's not. He's not consciously doing it, and I love that about his directing style. He adds detail. He adds
fact
immense
that it
detail,
could
and he doesn't
be-
even.
Meaning more.
Yeah.
It is what makes it good.
Yes.
Yeah, but then he's like, nah, it's just only a crazy person would eat dry Fruit Loops and
Yeah,
milk.
You know, guys?
his movies is the two that he's made immense detail, and you could look into every
That's
part
what
of
I
the
like
movie
about
and
movies.
see more
A
detail.
lot of detail.
Sometimes it's not even intentional,
Yeah.
but he's a good director. So I mean, I got to give it to him, even if it's not intentional. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
So next movie we're gonna watch.
8 out of 10 for Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
8 out of 10.
8.5 out of 10.
Still on that one.
We didn't rate it, so
We're
we
gonna,
have to rate
next time
it.
we're actually gonna watch a really good movie, Coraline.
Coraline.
I haven't seen since I was a kid,
Oh.
so
That'll probably be the scariest movie we watch on this in this
yeah.
month of Halloween
I'm
movie,
really excited
movies.
about it.
Oh man, that's actually a scary movie, and I love it. It's a great movie.
Coraline is good. Good
It's a
movie.
very good movie. Yeah, that's what we'll watch next. I also wanted to ask you, while we're on the topic of horror, how do you feel about the A24 films, the Midsummer and Hereditary?
Oh, you're talking about Ari Aster,
Yes.
my hero.
Yes.
Um,
I have opinions on them, but I would like to hear yours.
So Hereditary is very good. Midsummer is, in my opinion, not as good, but it is beloved by art house people everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that was another movie I cashed in 5 chick flicks for.
Really?
I
Oh.
was like, hey, come watch Ari Aster's sophomore film with me, and she's like, okay. Then we got out, and we're like, wow, that was trash. I had to explain to my girlfriend that there are 2 types of movies. There's narrative, and then there's art house.
Mm-hmm.
The way I explain it is like there are some movies that you just have to experience, and the experience is the horror itself, or the experience is the theme itself. Hereditary, as a narrative piece, is very, very good. It is terrifying. I don't think there have been visuals that striking.
I've heard
in a
that's
long
like
time.
the scariest movie in the last like 30 years.
Oh, it's
Mhm.
awful. Like it's awful in the sense that like after I stopped watching that movie, I couldn't stop looking at dark corners of my house to see Spider Annie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen Hereditary, right?
Yes, I've seen both of them, and they both make me cringe
Here's the
thinking
thing.
about them.
I when it comes to Hereditary and Midsummer, what seems more appealing to me is Midsummer. A cult horror movie sounds really interesting to me.
Tell you this right now, you would enjoy Hereditary way more.
Okay.
I actually enjoyed Midsummer more.
Yeah, I can see that.
I will never watch either of those movies again, but I enjoyed Midsummer more.
I think I've watched Hereditary twice.
My like little rant about these movies, respect them immensely for finding a niche in the horror genre that hasn't been done before. This unique way of doing horror that I've never seen before. Maybe there are movies like it. I haven't seen them before.
Mm-hmm.
So I respect them immensely for finding a new way to do horror. But it takes that style and just hammers it into the ground and just drives it so hard that the first time I watched Hereditary, I stopped halfway through and didn't finish it until 6 months later.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was so hard to watch. And I didn't know what I was getting into initially. And then I came back to it and was like, okay, now I know what I'm watching.
Mm-hmm.
Those movies are insanely hard to watch because they just do that
Stylistic
gruesome
thing.
and stylistic and depressing horror like no other movies do.
There is this.
So I have mad respect for the movies.
Oh,
but
Ari
I will
Aster
never
is
watch them
a
again.
genius.
Yes, I respect him as a director and the way he's doing things and making a unique way to do horror because that never happens anymore.
Exactly. I think
But I'll never see them again.
I talk about like people ask me a lot like what are my favorite genres of film. My 2 favorite are sci-fi and horror, which is why Alien is so up there.
Yeah, sci-fi horror. It's amazing.
But horror, I will always have an immense amount of respect for because I think it is the hardest genre to actually pull off.
Because it's so saturated. It's been done.
It's saturated.
Everything has been done.
But it's also because fear is the hardest emotion to control. I think like
Yeah.
it's easy to watch a sappy love story and like feel attached to the characters because you can relate to them.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to relate to someone who's being chased by like a zombie.
Because
right, that's not you. And
99%
it's,
of the time you haven't been chased by a zombie. in your life.
exactly,
Yeah.
and you are so
Most
far
of the time.
removed.
I can agree with that.
It's very easy to like step outside and be like, I'm in a theater right now. This is not real.
Yeah.
It's not that scary, right? But for stuff like Hereditary and Midsummer, it extracts horror from like this deep guttural
Reality.
grief
Yes.
that like is tangible. That makes me feel
It makes it
pain.
so
like
real.
God, I
Yeah.
hate it. Like
Like it makes you feel like you're actually like experiencing that, which most horror doesn't do. Like it's that element of sadness that comes with every like bad part of the movie, rather than just it being scary. It's also like kind of depressing.
Yeah.
Which most horror doesn't do. So it makes you feel
there's
more attached.
it's
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was gonna say, I was gonna talk about like Ari Aster himself. When he was in film school, he like, oh, the bee is inside
He is
the
stuck in
candle.
the wax. Oh wow. I feel really
Uh-oh.
bad. He's fine. Can he fly?
Oh no.
No, he's wiping it, or he's trying to wipe it off. Oh, there he
There
goes.
we go.
Good job.
Good job, man.
Round of applause for that guy.
I give it a B.
At a B.
I give him an A plus.
Dude, no,
A plus.
no.
No.
Anyway,
Ari Aster in film school, he hated all of his classmates. All of his classmates were making all this like narrative stuff, and he was just like, he hated it like so much. There was a short film he made. I forget the name of it, but it was so out there because he went into his senior thesis thinking to himself, I just want to make something that all of my classmates will hate to their core.
and that's Midsummer.
And I'm almost certain that he's carried that mentality with him through his film career because that translates so well into horror. It's like, I hated watching Hereditary.
I hated.
And I was like,
I hated
but
both
that's
of them.
the point.
I hated watching them, but man, are they good movies. Like, objectively well-made movies. Absolutely amazingly made, and yeah, just unique and everything. But I will never, ever see either of them again. But I do actually like Midsummer more. The visuals in Midsummer
I think the
are
cinematography
striking
in
and
Midsummer are a lot
especially with the color palettes and everything, that like bright, almost cheery color palette,
That's
as
what-
opposed to the like dark things that are happening.
See, yeah, that's why it interested me. It's like the trailers. Yes, it looks creepy, but like there isn't anything dark.
No.
Like it's all light. It's all in the daytime.
They
It's
even
all
used, the
outside.
letterboxing of it was actually white too in all the trailers.
Really?
Yeah, they
Oh,
made
you're
it
right,
a
you're
very
right.
bright and like if this were a comedy, and they could have used the exact same color palette and everything, it would have fit perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
But making it that Ari Aster horror genre just contradicted the colors and the cinematography and everything so much that I enjoyed it a lot. Just for the technical stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Both are good, but I don't know, if you have a weak stomach, maybe don't watch them.
No, watch them anyway. It's a worthwhile experience.
Or watch them.
The only way you get good at watching horror is building a tolerance for it.
That's true. That's actually true. Watch Coraline and Guardians by next week.
Also watch The Haunting of Hill House. Good show.
Is that good? I started it and
He loves it.
didn't finish it, so I should watch it. Okay.
It is the third best thing Netflix has ever produced. Or
Really?
distributed, yes.
First of all, what are the first
Stranger
two?
Things.
Stranger Things, and then Bojack Horseman.
Okay.
I
then
disagree with Bojack Horseman, but enough people will hate me that if I don't put it up there,
I've
so
never seen
Bojack Horseman.
It's
never seen it.
too
I've heard it's
real
I've heard it's depressing.
to
Yeah.
me.
Oh, that means it's good. You're complimenting the show right now, Jordan.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I just can't watch it.
Sure. I also can't watch it.
Yeah.
It's like the Office effect for me. It's like, oh, this is too.
It's too
cringe.
depressing for me. There is no happy ending at all. Everything is a sad ending. But that's what reality is.
Yeah.
That's what the point is.
You
But
should-
I'm like, all right, whatever.
You should watch The Haunting of Hill House. Legitimately, front to back. They just released The Haunting of Bly Manor last night.
Oh, okay.
But I can't watch it because I got my whole house stuck on it on Haunting of Hill House, and I want to finish that now.
Got it.
So I cannot watch it in one day like I was planning on. But it's okay. I'm glad that more people are watching it. You were talking earlier about how Hereditary is more sad than it is scary at times, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like it takes horror
It's
from
just depressing.
the most
yeah.
depressing parts. Yeah. The thing about Haunting of Hill House is that all of it takes horror from trauma.
Okay.
And it paints trauma as the most horrific thing you can experience as a family and as an individual, and uses that to funnel like the real fears of the show.
Like in Haunted Mansion.
Yeah,
Like in The Haunted Mansion,
Starring
starring Eddie
Eddie
Murphy.
I felt left out of that bit, but Eddie Murphy.
Do you want to feel more left out?
Yeah,